So one of the followers of the reciprocity project is frustrated with the fact that they want to go to another country, and they are an international student right now, and they want to do research, or they want to go to a graduate school in another country. And I believe this is within the United States. Perhaps it is another country, but they're really frustrated with the fact that they can't get into that particular country to do graduate school. I'm going to talk about this right now. And if this is you, I just want you to go do something nice. If this helps you in any sort of way, that's the name of the game with the reciprocity project, is if this helps you, just go do something nice, whatever that is, and let us know what you actually did. So, I don't believe that there's actually an inherent bias against international students within the system. If you actually go and look at professors at most really good institutions, they come from all over the world. I myself, I'm Canadian, I'm an immigrant in the United States. It's not much of an immigrant, but most institutions are very, very international, and it's becoming increasingly more so. It's because there's a limited number of people that actually want to do this, and there's a small pool that people actually gather from. And so, I've got most of my colleagues and friends are from all over the world, from almost every single university. Science is very, very international, and that's good, right? We're pulling from all these different locations, but this student is frustrated with the fact that they want to enter into a institution that is in another country. And what I want to point out, this is how I would think about this. This is not necessarily might be what's going on for you, but this is the way that I would think about this. Imagine that the person on the other side, the professor, is making an investment in an unknown asset. First of all, they really don't care about you as an individual. That's what you have to sort of go with and think about, right? Like, nobody cares about you. Once you start realizing this, you're going to really sort of change the way that you perceive the world. So imagine yourself as an uncertain or risky or, just not it's an unknown investment, right? So the professor's making some sort of unknown investment in you, and they don't know what your underlying quality is. That's the ultimate decision of what people are trying to do. And so they try to infer about what your underlying quality is. They look at different actions that you might do. They might look at all the sort of information that you present up front, all these kind of things to ensure that they are making an investment in you. And generally, a lot of these investments are going to go bad, right? So you might actually work with many different people that don't work out the way that you thought it was going to work out. And you're like, well, that was a waste of time. And so professors, just like anybody else, is very, very uncertain, or, that they're careful with who they actually work with. And this happens in all aspects of your life. You want to be careful with the people that you marry. All of these things happen because you're making this long-term investment with somebody that's going to be at least 5 years, right? It's going to be a long, long time that you're working with somebody. And so you're really careful with making that investment. So if that's the case and you don't have that information, how can you change how could you change it around? And so that you can show to this other person that you're actually a legitimate investment. Well, instead of thinking like they care about me in some sort of way, what you want to do is reverse it and think about, how can I get to the moment where they start caring about me? So what do I have to do? I actually have to read what they're doing and what they're saying, and actually carry on some research for them. Do the jump. Go and look what they said, and then maybe investigate something that they might be interested in, and show them a research paper that's half finished. Maybe it's fully finished, and you say, hey, would you like to work with me on this particular project? And once you get to that point where it's complete, I do this, right? Like almost every research professor does this once they've been in the game for a while. They will do all of the work, right? You'll do all of the work, and then you'll invite somebody on, and you'll say, hey, you know what? Would you like to participate? Now, here's the thing, like those people that you're asking to participate, they know something, they understand the world, so they're going to have a different perspective, and they're going to add value, hopefully, to what you're actually trying to say and do. So, don't worry about the fact that you don't have anything that's credible. However, if you've started working on a research project, say you want to work with somebody that is, a strategy person, or, that understands decision making, or, whatever the particular topic that you're interested in. Well, start taking a deep dive and spend a few months trying to investigate and understand how to do this research and what they're actually saying. Like, read their work, write up a 10-page paper. Actually go and collect some really good data, and show to them that you've collected all this data and this would be legitimate for you to do this, right? Instead of thinking about like, what am I going to get out of this transaction? Think about like, what can you actually offer to somebody? So, the things that you can offer to somebody that's, that has prestige, or you want to get into that particular location or whatever, you think about how you can serve them and help them out in various different ways. You don't want to go into a relationship sort of demonstrating that you're going to be just a drain of resources, right? So it's a courting relationship, right? So you're putting up your best foot forward in this dating relationship and showing that, hey, you know what? I actually have something to offer. And once you start thinking about this as this is somebody's making a long-term investment in you, then you will have to do a lot of legwork up front, and then they'll start saying, hey, you know what, I actually want to participate in this thing. That's how you do it. That's how you actually work the game and work the system. You do all of the upfront work, then you send it off to them and you say, hey, would you like to participate in this? This is something that's interesting. I would like to work for you or work with you in all aspects that I could possibly do. And once you have done that, many people are just gonna, they're not gonna accept it, and that's okay. You have to be okay with that, right? Like, that is the name of the game. And you can't be upset with it. Then you find somebody else that might be willing to work with you on this project, because once you start taking a deep dive into something, you'll identify that there's only a few people in this world that you actually want to work with, right? And it's this nature of exploration. That's where you should do up front for a little bit. Figure out what you're interested, what you want to do, and then pursue the particular degree. Do that legwork up front. If you could do this on your own and forget all of the rest of the stuff, right? Like, look to see if you actually want to work with, I don't know, Joe Mafra from prestigious University X. Read their stuff, look to see what they're doing, and actually carry on the conversation with them. Actually spend the time where you're carrying on the conversation and helping them out. And once you get past that it's this conversation, you're helping them out, you realize that there's a lot of legwork involved, then you can extend it and you can go on and do some really wonderful things from there. But until you realize that, nobody's going to help you out. Absolutely nobody is going to help you out. They don't care. In fact, you are an unknown asset with unknown quality, and nobody's going to take the bite on that. That's just too much to ask. And so what they're looking for is for you to do the legwork to demonstrate that you're actually going to help them out. The whole academic game, right? Doesn't matter where you're from. It's very, very competitive, and all professors, all researchers are extremely selfish. They care about themselves, and they want to increase their productivity, make themselves look wonderful. And they don't care about you. They care about making themselves look wonderful. And once you figure this out, how do you make somebody else look wonderful? Then you're going to take the steps to get there to do that. I know this sounds rough, but that is the nature of the beast. You actually have to do the legwork to get there, to make somebody like you. And that's it. That's really it. You can't make them like you. So if they say no, or they just walk away, or they rude or whatever, then that's more them. That has nothing to do with you. You've done all the work to get there, but then you go and find somebody else. You find an appropriate suitor that fits you. And you do that over and over and over again until you find somebody that you gravitate towards. And so if you're really serious about this, realize that this is a 20, 30-year investment. the first person you work for is going to get you into the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. And I know it's really difficult as somebody that is coming from a different country. I've faced that. This is the liability of foreignness. Nobody knows where my institutions are from. Like, who cares about that, right? I'm in a foreign country. Who cares about that? But you need to take that step to demonstrate that you can actually do this. And then, here's the thing. Use that later on to walk past those people that snubbed you and treated you poorly. Then you give them a little wink as you're going by and said, you know what? You missed out on this opportunity. I'm good enough. I'm pretty awesome. And you missed out on that. That's your fault. It's not mine. So go out there, go do some wonderful things. I know you can do this. Just keep taking those steps forward and do the thing that you need to do to get you there. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.